Hello, everybody. Welcome to the greatest comic book news show in the entire multiverse of Colorado. Today we're gonna. I'm Betty. That is Sal. This is the show that we get together every Tuesday to talk about the news going on in the world of comic books and comics. We talk about what we've read, what is going on, and what has been announced. Yeah, that's it. I got there's a news article on here that is not here, which I think you're going to be excited for because the entire chat has told me you will be excited for.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard about it already, but
what have you heard?
I've heard that Channing Tatum is going to be the Max, but he said that like years ago. It's just that, but today I saw he posted on Instagram that he's going to be the Max.
Everyone who wanted you to be surprised by the news, I'm sorry. No, Sal is on the ball.
We're doing a news show. I know what happened. This isn't breaking. He said that like years ago. He's wanted to be the Max and Gambit for like exactly as long. But yes, no, Channing Tatum said on his Instagram account, and I'll just pull it up and read it if you don't mind.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So we have a source here because I posted it on Twitter as well, and people were like, "What?" And I'm like, "It says it right there. Like, what are you talking about?" But here we go. On Channing Tatum's Instagram page, you can go there, and there's a number of pictures of the Max, and the quote is, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for this. I can't even explain. The Max. This is a childhood love of mine, a truly brilliant genius creation of Sam Keith. When I was grounded and wasn't allowed to watch TV, this was the cartoon on MTV's Oddities I would risk it all for." First of all, high five to Channing Tatum for correctly citing it, MTV's Oddities, and not Liquid Television. Nailed it. It was MTV's Oddities.
I don't remember either of those. So.
Man, paired with The Head, another
Are you
show.
older than me?
I think so. I would risk it all for. Sneak out of bed, put it on, and pray I didn't get caught. Even now, after all this time, it feels somehow ahead of its time. The characters in this, the Max, Julie Winters, and Mr. Gone taught me things about life. Seeded complex ideas in my young mind that had profound effect on me and how I viewed the world and the roles we play that I only intellectually understood way later. Can't wait to bring this to life and try and bring it to generations that missed it. I mean, like, what? Okay.
My assumption is cartoon. I mean,
I don't think so.
You think we're getting live action, Max?
I mean, look, they already did a cartoon on MTV. It may be the best comic book animated adaptation of all time in terms of its accuracy and it surpassing the source material.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's going to be live action, which will be weird. Max will have to be CG, which I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Sydney Sweeney for Julie Winters, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That's my casting. They really only need to cast 3 people. Julie Winters, Mr.
She's
Gone.
already a superhero. It's going to be the wildly successful Madame Web.
Exactly. It's not like she's gonna it's not like she's gonna want to win after the Madame Web comes out. She's gonna be in a franchise.
She's gonna be in a franchise. She's gonna get Oscars. She's gonna get a Grammy because she's gonna have a musical number at some point.
Exactly. No, yeah, definitely. I have high expectations for Madame Web. Currently coming out in Hollywood's favorite time, February.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
It's a Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, listen, Deadpool was a Valentine's. Deadpool's Deadpool. Madame Web is that.
That. Just
that.
really good at that.
But yeah, I'm hyped. I know that like nobody cares about the Max, but like, listen, folks, if you want, go watch the Max cartoon. You will not be disappointed. It's cool. But yeah.
Okay, well, let's move over to another topic here. I'm trying to remember what I read recently. Have you read anything you want to talk about before we go into the rest of the news? Since I just wanted to surprise you with that one.
Right? Not nothing from this week. Like, you know,
I did read this week's shit. None of this.
Did you read Ultimate Spider-Man?
Well, yeah. I mean, didn't you?
Yeah, but you
like the moment it came out. Oh, we can talk about it. But here's the thing with that. Look, I'm going to preface it by stating I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it did a great job. Amazing world building. I loved the fact that it homaged the original by not even technically showing the suit. They did everything they needed to do to make that the best launch ever. Nothing happens. There's nothing to spoil. There's really nothing to discuss because nothing happens.
I mean, Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man in that book. It's
what do you think about the alternate origin?
I mean, it's cemented in the universe, you know, like it's all part of the like ongoing, ultimate nonsense that Hickman's building. Like you can never talk about Ultimate Spider-Man without also talking about like Iron Man, their Illuminati, the like geopolitical upset that's happening. The Maker's secret bunker. You know, like there's all this crap.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in this new universe.
Yeah, and it's like I can't get excited for any of that. But like, what's happening with Peter and the like the elder millennial journey he's going on? I'm like, I'm here for that. Way to go! That's awesome.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes because like it's the way they set it up in the comic is almost like okay, he got the powers, now he's just Spider-Man. But
right.
Like he's just like, oh, I'm Spider-Man. Like, did it come with memories of how to do this?
No, he's gonna have to learn how it works, which I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm on board at that journey, but just the way they set it up at the ending. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
I know. I can't wait to see the next issue. Like, that's gonna be really cool. I hope there's no time jump. I want to see like Peter.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. They just time jump and he knows what he's doing. He's got some web shooters.
That would suck.
Another 6 months or whatever.
Where does he even get the web shooters? Does he know? Like, does he make them? Like, I don't know.
Maybe there's specs in the orb.
Yeah. But it's like he builds them. Shouldn't he know how they work?
But he's not in this universe.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I mean, he's not even like super intelligent in this universe. He's just a guy working at a paper.
Yeah. No.
Based on the news articles today, those people are like replaced by AI at this point.
I know. Well, it's great. He's unremarkable in this universe until now. It's like, that's great. No, it's cool. I love it.
No, I really did love it. I thought they did a great job. Nothing I read really stood out to me recently. I did read the Fall of the House of X. That is the good one. The other one is dumb.
No, they're both cool.
Dumb. They're like, oh, here's another alternate future for the X-Men.
That's what's happening.
Oh, there's another one. And that one, I'm at a point where if it's an alternate future for the X-Men, I just ignore it. Because it's going to be destroyed and never matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's all going to get, undone.
Well, that's because this happened last week, so we can talk about this.
Yeah.
What do you think of their setting up that they're just going to reset everything?
I mean,
I asked Rob, and that was Rob's face. I was like, so what do you think? And he goes,
I mean, like, here's the thing. They could do two things because they're going to go back and try and kill Moira and undo it.
They're Hitlering her.
Yeah, they're Hitlering
her. The story of like, okay, if you could go back in time, would you go kill Hitler as a baby? They're Hitlering her.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's garbage, but like they are okay. So I think that in this case, I don't think it's going to go well. I think that they're going to try, they're going to screw up, someone else is going to die, and they're going to remake the Age of Apocalypse. That's what I think is going to happen.
Ooh. Be a lot better than they resolve this by just going back in time and killing a young Moira.
Yeah, I mean, I think that eventually what'll happen is they'll end up in the Age of Apocalypse. Moira will be there, and then she'll die, and then it'll reset, bring it back to Krakoa, get back to this point, and then.
Well, that's why they're going to go before she has her power.
I know. But if they don't, but the thing is, if they don't succeed, if they don't kill her, but
in the words of Doctor Who, they're going to a constant in time.
But if they don't kill her, like if they don't unmutant her or unalive her, then I expect someone else will jump in the way, like young Xavier jumping in the way and saving her, dying instead. Changes the timeline, and I think makes a new Age of Apocalypse 2.
So you don't think they're just going to end this by killing a baby, basically?
No, I don't think so.
Because they already technically did that with like the X-Force run by Rick Remender, where they killed the Kid Apocalypse.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think that no, I don't think that's good. I think they want you to think that's what's going to happen, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I feel like it'd be too much of a button up to just get them back to Westchester and just be like, and now we're back at the school. Because I brought this up to Rob.
Yeah, I think we are going to go back to the school.
I do think we are. Think we are, and there's a reason for that.
Ah.
I have a theory. I have a theory why we're going back to the school. Did you read Wolverine versus Predator?
Yeah.
It ended with him guarding the school.
Yeah.
Okay. So what it stated was present day. Now here's my theory. That is technically present day in 6 months of X-Men. Knowing that X-Men was going to that, they didn't want to have this random Krakoa thing at the end of Wolverine versus Predator.
Yeah,
they wanted it to kind of stand with what you know from the past and where X-Men are going to go.
I didn't think it ended at the school. It just ends with him in the woods or something.
No. Well, the present day story was him at the school.
No. Him at the school is the past.
You're gonna make me pull it up.
It says Westchester, New York, the past. Now that takes place pre everything. Like that's an earlier story.
You can tell from the. They got so confusing with that.
Yeah, no. You can see from like first of all.
Well, fine. Shoot down my theory, Sal.
I'm sorry. No, it's not. Like Shadowcat's got her old costume. This is set in like the 80s.
Fine, whatever, Sal.
Yeah. No, it's still cool.
What do you think about Sabretooth War over in Wolverine 41?
I don't care about Sabretooth.
I think I do. I like this so far.
It is there for you because you don't like Krakoa. So it's there for, it's like, here's a story that has nothing to do with any of that crap. It's just Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Hilarious because they got Wolverine back in issue 40. So he's over in the Krakoa Fall of X thing finally.
Oh, yeah, he's doing that. Yeah.
But like 41's like, all right, bub, I got to go find Sabretooth. Like,
I got to go fight Sabretooth.
What?
Yep.
It's just like if you read X-Men 30 now.
Yeah.
It's pretty much done with Fall of X because they went over here. So it's like, and X-Men 30 is just moving forward.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's, I also saw, it's funny, the Wolverine book is like parental advisory. They're like, there's some graphic stuff in here.
Oh, it is. It's like Wolverine Max level.
It's like, good. Yeah. Be comfortable with that.
Our chat is asking what happened to Dark Beast. Only Marvel knows.
They haven't answered that question yet. It's not, Dark Beast? Like the evil.
I think they're referencing
Beast?
Evil Beast in Wolverine. Not true Dark Beast.
Okay.
Middle of the they're ruining Dark Beast like they ruined Maestro.
Yeah.
When like it was like, oh, Maestro is this. How did we get there? And Marvel's like, do you want to know?
Yeah.
Will you pay? We're gonna make a story telling you how Maestro got there, and then you read that and you're like, oh.
Yeah. No, Dark Beast was in Krakoa. Like he was like, you're worse than me, man.
Oh, was he? I don't remember. I didn't realize he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
So, all right. Let's move on to our news articles of the day.
Oh yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse director explains why the movie explores so much of canon events. In short, the director explained that comics people consider canon events to be sacrosanct.
Yeah, sacrosanct. Yeah.
When in reality, the person who created it pulled it out of their ass so that they wanted to make a more meta. So they wanted to make a more meta Spider-Man film, and so the idea of each Spider-Man needing a canon event for the Spider-Verse to exist. The movie used Miguel O'Hara as the main villain and gatekeeper, to which the director explained that the character was a metaphor for the stalwart fan communities.
Yeah, that's pretty insulting.
Yeah,
be like, so the villain of our comic book adaptation movie is comic book fans because they don't let us just do whatever we want.
You want to know what the worst part about that is?
Yeah.
I know you don't play the Final Fantasy games.
No.
But Final Fantasy Remake, I'm going to spoil a game from 2 years ago at this point, or like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But that's the plot as well.
Oh my God.
So Final Fantasy VII Remake is a literal remake, like not to the literal sense of, oh, it's a remake of the game.
Yeah.
They're remaking the timeline.
Okay.
And so what it is there's these spirit characters floating around the entire game. Mm-hmm. And if the characters of Final Fantasy VII deviate from the expected lore, these characters fix it.
Oh my God.
And the moment that happened, I'm like, it's a metaphor for the fandom. That's
you're making fun of me.
Yeah, you're making fun of the fandom.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so basically, and the plot rolls into, okay, this is our fate to relive Final Fantasy VII no matter what. And due to plot reasons, they find a way to finally break out.
Okay.
And they can write a new story.
That's a cool premise actually for the game.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the sequel to Remake, is the new direct. You have no idea what the hell's going to happen because they've broken the timeline. They've broken the fan expectation, which is what that director says the plot of Spider-Man is.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
It's so weird that they both are coming out at the same time. And normally they'd be like, well, they happen to eat at the same breakfast place and overheard each other. But one's in Japan.
Yeah. So they're okay. I guess that allows them to then find a direction because I don't think there's much of the next movie being made yet.
No, it's super delayed at this point. No one even knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, so they can follow that train of logic. Okay, we don't want to necessarily say look in the camera and say you're the problem, but I don't know. Most of those movies do that, so I guess we'll do that too. I guess we'll see.
I mean, that's the metaphor and the whole meta thing. A lot of things are doing recently. You know what I mean? Star Wars fans, you're the problem. And you're like,
well, I love that.
Thanks.
I love loving something and then watching the thing that I love and giving it its money and then having the people who made it tell me that I'm a jerk for liking it.
Final Fantasy VII Remake came out in 2020. Holy shit, has it been 4 years?
4 years? That makes sense.
There's no way. Making me Google this shit. That's what you're making me do right now. That came out in 2020. Holy shit.
Oh, no.
Well, I spoiled the 4-year-old game, Sal. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. That's actually more old than you thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, these last 4 years are just one big melded year.
It really is. It really sucks.
Next up, we got James Gunn confirms that Witcher star Anya Charlatra, she played
Sure.
Yennefer, has been cast in the animated series Creature Commandos as the Wonder Woman villain Circe.
Yeah, that's cool.
The article also mentioned, but does not confirm that there's a possibility that the characters are in the animated series Creature Commandos may potentially cross over with live action products with the same actress. That would be super cool, but probably unlikely. No, I don't think it's unlikely because I think that's what he said is the goal.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Yeah, no, he said like we've deliberately cast people in Creature Commandos and in our future DC universe animated projects because then they can play them in live action.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. Just like they're going to do some crossover games that are supposed to have the same premise. They're going to that.
That's going to be harder to do, but I do expect them to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's what made the MCU work. And like I've said before, it becomes a constant thing of like, oh, I got to see everything, so I got to know what's going on. But it's easy when there's only 3 projects a year. In the MCU, just broke it by having 3 different plot lines in 17 projects, and no one cared about any of it anymore.
100%. Yeah. No. Yeah. This is also like the same article talks about like David Harbour, how he's going to be Frankenstein. And he said out loud, like, I can't wait to play him in 2 different mediums. Like, I got to voice him in the cartoon, and I got to wear prosthetics and be him in a movie. And I'm like, wait, what movie? What movie is Frankenstein showing up?
In Superman Legacy.
Oh my God.
With like 10 other characters.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take a second. Characters that have been announced.
Oh, for Superman Legacy?
Yeah, for Superman Legacy. All right, here we go. Every actor cast in Superman Legacy so far. That was up. This is only November.
Okay, so there probably is more, but
so there probably more. But we got. I can't believe this man's name is David Cornsweet. But Superman. We got Superman. Okay, great. We've got Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. Okay, fine. Skylar Giasondo as Jimmy Olsen. So we got Jimmy, Lois, Clark. Cool. Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor. Got it. You got Luthor. Makes sense to me. Sarah Sampaio as Eve Tessmacher. Oh, Miss Tessmacher, like the female sidekick for Lex Luthor in the 1978 Superman movie. Fine. Okay.
He needs an assistant, and they don't want to go to Mercy yet. So.
And, like, what's so weird is that they always do that. Like in every effing Superman movie, they're like, don't forget, gotta get that ditzy woman as his assistant. Parker Posey did that in Superman like Legacy, and I'm like, what are we doing? What is this?
Yeah.
But and then it was like Maria Gabriella as the engineer, and I'm like, the Authority's engineer is going to be in Superman. Okay. And hey, how about Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner as Green Lantern in Superman Legacy? Oh, all right. Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl in Superman Legacy.
I know.
Cool. Okay. And Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific in Superman Legacy.
I feel like there's going to, because this is not supposed to be his origin, nor is it supposed to be later in his life. It's supposed to be like his 20s.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just going to be a scene where he goes to like Terrific Tower and the other heroes
They're all there?
And that's it. Yeah.
Wait, we're not done. Anthony Carrigan is going to be Metamorpho.
Oh, I didn't know about Metamorpho yet.
In Superman Legacy.
Yeah, no. They're all going to be a Terrific Tower just hanging out.
Right? I mean, obviously, I think the thing is going to be, like, because for the longest time in the post-crisis universe, Superman was not a member of the Justice League.
Right.
Like, Justice League was this. You know, and I can imagine the Justice League being like, hi, it's Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho and Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner. And they're like, you want to join? Superman would be like, hell no.
I could see that because a lot of people forget that the Avengers as you know them and the Justice League as you know them is a 2000s thing.
Right.
Those teams were meant to support superheroes that nobody thought could support a book.
Exactly. They were the unsellables. Both teams.
They were literally the unsellables. And then, like, I think it was Brian Michael Bendis was like, why are we doing this? Put all the big hitters on this book.
No, it was Grant Morrison over there and Brian Michael Bendis over here. And they're both like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What we would sell a lot more if we just put everyone's favorite characters in these damn books. And they were like, and I remember the brain trust were like,
well, it's funny because what both of them did was like, okay, but we still like the idea of the unsellable. So Avengers West Coast, and Justice League International,
JLI. I'm hyped for a JLI in this universe, if only just because, like, I think I don't remember if they've actually cast Booster Gold, but we'll see.
It would be funny if it is JLI and Superman is on the Justice League.
He'd be like, I gotta get over here.
Maybe Superman has to go to the West Coast. The JLI's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh.
Detroit. That's where they used to be.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah, so
Superman wouldn't swear. He wouldn't swear.
No, he'd be like, I gotta go. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get some milk. And he never comes back.
All right. According to Marvel Insider, Jeff Snyder, whatever. Both Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Wool will be returning for Daredevil. Yeah, we already talked about this already.
Yep, we did a whole video.
We made a whole video on it. Overall opinions, we're excited and don't understand why they were trying something else. But I mean, that's the MO for the MCU right now. Try something that no one will like.
Yeah, maybe they will. Yeah, but they don't.
I was thinking about this today because I do know they changed Echo's powers.
Only slight. Yeah, she has these, but the rest of Echo doesn't have powers.
No, she's just Taskmaster.
Right.
She can mimic. But why?
She can mimic.
But I was thinking about why did they change Echo's powers? It makes no sense. Why did they change Ms. Marvel's powers? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just like, why are we doing these things? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It's not with Echo. I'm like, no, both people will complain about her having different powers. Oh no, I'm
complaining.
Well, feel free. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like, all right. Oh no.
No, but what I got was I tweeted that out and I realized it's exactly what you just said. They're changing it because nobody gives a damn or knows. When I tweeted out that Echo and Miss Marvel's powers got changed, the #1 tweet I got back is, well, it makes sense, Benny, that for Miss Marvel to be a mutant instead of an Inhuman. And I'm like, that wasn't a power. I said powers. They changed her powers. Do you know that little about Miss Marvel?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. But yeah, but there's another thing about the MCU. What's this one?
I was just going to the MCU Series 5 has set an unfortunate record with none of the 7 entries of the movie getting higher than a 90% on the Rotten Tomatoes, with each other phase having at least 2 movies above 90%. The projects were What If at 88% and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 at 82%.
82.
Dan says he was surprised by this. And Loki Season 2 at 82%, Echo at 73%, The Marvels at 62%, and Secret Invasion at 53%, Ant-Man Quantumania at 46%.
Yeah,
I mean, safe to say this was the worst phase of the MCU to date.
Easily. Certainly the worst critically and probably the worst financially.
Here's my problem.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware we were done with phase 5.
I know, right? What?
Like it was a blip.
Yeah.
They blipped out phase 5.
I mean, good, right? Because you need to be able to just go, that's the phase that we're just not going to talk about.
Phase 4 and 5?
I mean, we have to, right? The only problem I have is okay, so
we are almost at a point where half the phases are trash in the Marvel MCU.
Yeah.
We have 2 trash phases.
Yep.
We get one more, we're half and half.
We're half and half. It's it'll be like Star Wars. But yeah, I don't think that we're ever going to get a Marvel movie to go above 90% rotten anymore.
Oh no, it's too cool to hate on shit.
Well, because of weaponized, monetized online outrage. Yeah. Just because people with audiences have vested interests in brigading reviewers, that's it. It's just it'll never be allowed because of the pre-reviews. You'll see people go the movie hasn't come out yet and it's at 20%.
Yeah,
it's oh. How is that possible? Oh, I know. Because 6 influential YouTubers or vaguely influential YouTubers have a stranglehold over their very manipulatable audiences.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. And I think that it's become too cool to hate on the MCU at this point.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's gonna be a point where it's gonna swing back because people are like, man, MCU, that sucks. And I've actually seen it happen where people go, are you really talking about the MCU right now? Who cares?
Yeah.
Why are you ascribing your identity to liking or disliking some movies about superheroes?
And
I'm fair. that's the right attitude to have.
In our last piece of news, I added this one because I found it this morning by someone telling me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot that I want to note, Dan let me know was on the docket 2 weeks ago for news. He really wants me to know that he found the news. But I found it's going to be Jason Aaron.
Yeah. Jason Aaron is writing the Turtles.
Yep, they're going to do a fresh reboot of the Turtles, starting the story not over from what I was told, but they're going to be doing.
Yes, according to the press release, says the new Ninja Turtle series is notably a relaunch, not a reboot.
Right.
Existing in the same universe as IDW's previously published Ninja Turtles comic books. What do you think about that as a big in-continuity Turtles fan?
I
think it's a terrible idea.
I agree, because
I think it should be a reboot.
Here, that's what I'm going to say. They should end this with some epic stuff and just end the series and reboot it. Because the problem is, at this point in the story, we've killed off too many major characters. We've already done the big story beats. Because like my problem with Turtles in the IDW world,
right?
1 through 50 has such crazy story beats. They just couldn't trump it with 51 to 100.
It's true.
And then they just left the remnants of what it is for 51 to 150, 101 to 151.
Right.
Like that's just the remnant. Like, it's the problem with the Turtles. I hate to say this because I love the Turtles.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Turtles are strong enough to go too far beyond the Shredder, Foot Clan, Karai storyline, story beats.
That's a good point.
The Mute Animals I love, but could we support a whole series of the Mute Animals?
See, here's the thing. Because, like, I am not a Turtles fan, proportionately speaking. I love the Turtles. I love the Turtles media. I grew up with the Turtles. I had 1,000 action figures before I gave them away to children. But, like, I am not, because I didn't think that aliens, time travel, and all this other stuff would be good or intrinsic in the Turtles' DNA. But apparently, like, the Turtles have been fighting aliens since day one.
Yeah.
You know, like the original series, like, they kill Shredder in like issue 1 or 2, and then it's off to the races. They got Krangs, they got Ultrams, they got like robots, they got like it's every which way. And you know, like I remember growing up watching the Ninja Turtles cartoon show and I remember like watching like older YouTube videos where they're like, oh, the Red Sky series, and being like, I'm not having any idea what they're talking about. But apparently there's an entire season or 2 of the original Turtles cartoon that you and I definitely watched, where the skies go red and they like turn into other things. Like, they have new mutations where they turn into like monsters.
Yeah.
And they go into the future, and then they come into the past. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this is insane. This is no wonder it failed, but it turns out like, no, that's what the Turtles is.
Yeah. No, it's so, and this is coming from a Turtles fan. I have been a Turtles fan since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Until now. Turtles for me is what Ghostbusters is to you.
Right.
Okay. Like, you could tell me up and down the Ghostbusters lore.
Mm-hmm.
The Turtles, as a Turtles fan, and I know I'm going to get lambasted from Turtles fans, I feel the problem with the Turtles is it's gone on long enough that there are crazy story beats that work.
Yeah.
Kang, Shredder, Baxter. That's why those elements continually come up. Yes. That's why the shows keep rebooting and just hitting those story beats again.
It's true.
Like, the shows reboot and we get back to Shredder. And instead of like, oh, maybe we should get rid of Shredder. No, we just made Shredder have a granddaughter so we could stall Shredder. Like,
that's true.
Karai's great, but that's her.
But it's just Shredder again. Like,
it's Shredder as a young girl who's more conflicted over her emotions, and she's every time she's in some of these properties, she's used to stretch out the eventual Shredder.
Yes.
Shredder eventually works with Kang. You know, Bebop and Rocksteady, the Mute Animals, that was one of the newer creations that they kind of like turning it into that group with Hobbs. Mm-hmm. That worked, but I don't think you could support like a whole story of them fighting those guys.
Right, you're talking about like, I can imagine you doing a Turtle story of them in the future where we see all that happen.
I know. Krang.
We're doing a comic book show, folks. You're going to say the wrong thing. It's gonna happen.
It's Krang. I get it. Whatever. Yeah. I know what I'm talking about. I just mix it up with, because currently the MCU, Kang is the thing.
Exactly. But I don't know if like the audience will stick around long enough for you to get to the point where the Turtles are old and there's like, the last Ronin 2 is about like the Turtles being dead and there's new Turtles.
Right. But here's what the plot is, Sal. It's the last Turtle fighting the descendant of the Shredder.
Oh, I know. But I'm talking about last Ronin 2. Last Ronin 2 is like, it's uncharted waters.
Yes.
But like, we're not, but I don't think, and it works over there because we're not going to spend 200 issues getting to that point. We just are there. I don't know if the audience will stick around and watch like you know, the inevitable, you know, aging of Bebop and Rocksteady, and like the growing of the family to the point where it, you know, fragments and splinters and then gets back together. And they, you know, like the fact that like Donnie like dies or gets downloaded into a robot. And then they, I mean, like all that, like, I can't believe that even, they even got there, much less that people hung in there long enough for it to happen. But
well, that happened before issue 50.
Did it really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like they've got 100 or more issues past that.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like
but
Turtles.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. What was the last big story beat that the Turtles got headlines for? Death of Donnie.
Yeah.
That was 100 issues ago.
Yeah.
Which just reiterates my point. I'm not saying the Turtles is not capable of going further. I'm not saying that there's not insane world building with aliens and extra dimensions and mutations and
multiverses. Like we've done that too.
There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with the Turtles, but the problem with the Turtles is there's only so many big story beats that always work.
Right.
You
and
know,
don't you want to see that? Like, don't you want to see Jason Aaron's Shredder?
Yeah. And I would love to see how he gets to Shredder.
Yeah. Like,
and maybe he changes it. Maybe in his version, Shredder ends up working with the Turtles for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, like you can take the same beats and then spin them around a little bit, because that's why Nickelodeon just makes a new Turtles show every 3 years.
That's true. That is actually like, that's my, like, yeah, no, I completely agree. Don't you want to see, like, I don't know if I want to see Jason Aaron inherit all this continuity with Turtles. Like when I jump on, like if I pick up Turtles refresh number 1.
Yeah, you're gonna get one, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up number 1, but when I do, I want it to feel fresh and new. I don't want to have to like feel like I missed out on 151 issues of Turtles, you know?
And that's going to be the problem, because you're going to look at it and you're going to go, okay, so Shredder's already gone. Splinter's already gone.
Yep.
Krang is already gone.
Right. And Jenica. And
Jenica's on the Turtles now, so we got 5 Turtles.
So we got 5 Turtles.
Yeah, we got 5 Turtles.
And she's not even like, is she turned into a person? Like it's like Ron
I've not read from 101 to 150, so I don't know what they ended up. Jenica became a turtle?
Right. Like it's a person that's a turtle, right? Like, yeah.
Which is what the Turtles were originally in the cartoon, and now they're just
no. The Turtles were always turtles. What
was the series where they were
in the cartoon? Splinter was a man, and he turns into a rat. But every other iteration, Splinter's a rat who turns into a rat man. The Turtles are turtles that turn into turtle men.
What is the one I'm thinking of where they were like his actual sons and they turned into?
Oh, that's still the cartoon or the comic book, but they're reincarnated.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm probably mixing it all up.
Yeah, no, it's because they are humans, but like their souls are human.
Yeah. But yeah, Jenica's an actual human woman who got injured and then had to take the blood, I think, from Leo, like a transfusion.
Yeah, and turns into a
turtle. Well, that's my only problem. Like, I'm excited to see what Jason Aaron's going to do with this, but you're right, he's inheriting a lot of stuff, and all the big beats with the Turtles are done. What are you going to do? You're going to reincarnate Shredder again?
I doubt it. I mean, no, I think that the thing is, at the very least, like Jason Aaron is like, he's an award-winning writer. He's really good at what he does. I don't count Avengers against him because of the strengths of everything else that he's done.
No, I still think he did fine on Avengers. I think he had too much carte blanche to do his own thing.
Yeah, he did.
We shouldn't have had a war with Phoenix. You shouldn't have Moon Knight take over the planet, and it's just a 6-issue story arc in the Avengers. I don't know.
It's weird. But
I thought he did some crazy awesome stuff in that series. I liked that series style. I know you're against it.
I am.
But I do feel like you're inherently against it because it just didn't work with everything else in Marvel.
There's a part of that, but also just...
If they had told you straight up from the get-go,
yeah,
Jason Aaron's Avengers is an alternate universe,
I still probably wouldn't have read it because I don't care. The thing is, with me, they ain't my Avengers. My Avengers is the new Avengers. Like, it's going to be tough for me to ever care about the Avengers. And it took a long time. And it's going to have to be, it's a very specific couple of writers who are going to get me to read the Avengers again, even if it isn't going to be the new Avengers. And one of them is Bendis. And it's just like, as it turns out, I just don't care about the Avengers unless it's new Avengers or they're written by Bendis. Otherwise, I'm really not enjoying it, except for what's coming out this week, which is the Avengers Twilight book from Chip Zdarsky. That I'll read because it's also alternate reality, but also it's Chip Zdarsky. And we know who he loves. I mean, Daredevil's literally the first 2 pages of that book. So, you know, Daredevil and Spiderman are going to show up in this book.
I'm to spin this back to Turtles. I want to say, because you actually just made me think of this real quick. Doing what they're doing with this would be like if the new alternate universe with Jonathan Hickman's made, all the other Ultimate Universe stuff's already happened.
Right. Yes. It's set in the real Ultimate Universe, and it's just 20 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this. I'm excited to see what Jason Aaron can do. And I will admit, I can be proven entirely wrong.
Absolutely.
Jason Aaron might have incredible stuff that is going to be, I'm going to be like, holy shit, he brought the Turtles to a whole new level.
And he might. I mean, the fact is, he wouldn't do it without knowing that he's going to do that. I mean, honestly, like, as much as I would love to see what Jason Aaron's going to do with Shredder, I feel like if Jason Aaron takes this job, he's going to create something even worse or more interesting than Shredder. And I hope that he does.
And like I said, that's why I said, like, all the other stuff the Turtles have done, it's not terrible.
No.
But it never hits, like, the marquee. Like I mean, okay, here's a great example. That last Turtles movie, how shocked were we all there was no Shredder in it?
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, it's great, and it's still a lot of fun. It's still really cool. Although I'm like, I don't know where you're gonna go with this based on the ending of that movie. I'm like, oh, this is not the. But but the thing is with the Turtles, I'm not upset that like it's in a radically different place than any other Turtles version because I'm like, go ahead. If I'm upset about like not seeing the Turtles live in the sewer fighting Shredder and Krang, I can watch 100 episodes of the cartoon show. Oh, and when I say cartoon show, I mean 3 different cartoon shows. Or read the comic books.
Like I was just saying, I would want Jason Aaron to do something totally different with the well-known characters because Eastman's got this 1 through 50 run of what I want.
Yes.
And then there is 51 to 100 where he tried new stuff that wasn't terrible. He just didn't hit the same beats that made you go like, oh!
Yeah, exactly. Well, it never caught fire. Or at least the later versions didn't. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. Like, but I think that Aaron has the potential to make that happen. And I'm just kind of like, I'm just surprised they didn't give him the softball, underhanded pitch of like, reboot.
Yeah.
No one would blame them. No one.
No, I don't think anyone would. You'd have a few fans that are like, oh man, but like, and once again, I've not read from 101 to 151 where it's going to end, but the general consensus I got, and the reason I didn't read it is when I caught up to Turtles, there was 10 issues into that.
Yeah. And
everyone that I was on the internet was hating on it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get a few more issues in. Yep. It'll probably spin around and everyone's going to like it. And instead of that, they just stopped talking about it. So I just haven't gone back and read it.
That's fair. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's our discussions of today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited for where we go with it, you know?
Yeah. No, I want to see. It's Jason Aaron. I've got faith he could do something. I feel like he's got an uphill battle.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be like if Jason Aaron's got Batman, but every villain's already dead. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
Right? No, Jason Aaron's coming to Batman. He's doing another Dark Knight Returns sequel.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know
We've
what?
already done everything.
I'm gonna pretend that doesn't exist. I'm just not gonna read that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Absolute. Don't forget to check us out over at Comic Story and a Comic Pop. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be back next Tuesday talking more news.
Agreed.